Hello everyone. So in today's video, I wanted to try something a little bit different. I wanted to try making a custom car build tutorial in Gran Turismo 7, and the car I chose to try and replicate was the GTO LM Edition from Gran Turismo 1, a car that I have very fond memories of driving in that game, and I want to try and recreate it as best I could with what we have in Gran Turismo 7. So, full disclosure to start off with, I did not make this livery. Someone else who is far more talented at livery editing than I am made this, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So, I will leave a link in the description for you to try this livery on your own GTO if you choose to follow this build, or if you don't. It looks fantastic either way, so download that from link in the description. It is fantastic. So, to head into the tuning section of this, I want to just say straight away that you can't quite get the same horsepower on this car as you can in the one in Gran Turismo 1, because this is a GTO 91 twin turbo, and the one in Gran Turismo 1 is based on a 96 model, which has more horsepower, so it can get more with its settings and everything. So we're about 15 horsepower shy on this build, but nonetheless, I wanted to try and make this as close as I can anyway. If they ever add the 96 GTO, I'd love to revisit this and get even closer, and it would look more accurate as well. But anyway, on to what we did do. So from the sports section, you'll want weight reduction stage 1. From club sports, you'll want bore up, high lift camshaft, and weight reduction stage 2. In semi-racing, you'll want the racing crankshaft, the fully customizable computer, and the high RPM turbocharger. I bought the medium one, you don't need it, it's for something else. You also want the fully customizable LSD, weight reduction stage 3, and increased body rigidity. And in racing, you'll pretty much want everything to be honest, but you'll want stroke up, engine balance tuning, polish ports, anti-lag system, racing silencer, racing air filter, racing intercooler, racing exhaust manifold, racing brake pads, fully customized suspension, racing clutch and flywheel, torque venturing center differential, fully customized racing transmission, and racing soft tires. You can also buy the racing discs here, either drilled or slotted. I chose to buy the carbon ceramics in the extreme section. It's just an aesthetic difference. It doesn't matter which one of the three you buy. I just prefer the look of the carbon ones, so that's what I went with. But you can pick any one, it doesn't matter. I also bought intermediate tires, but you don't need those for this build either. So now we'll head to the GT Auto section, and I'll talk about the visual tuning. So coming into GT Auto, into the car customization section, you will want to, of course, download the livery that I've left a link to in the description. You will also need the wide body kit fitted from the car maintenance section. As for any changes to the livery, there are a few. So they're tiny things, but just first off, in the caliper color section, I chose to make the calipers black. You can't change this when you download the livery because it defaults to whatever color you have on the standard brakes, or it will default to red if you choose racing brakes. So I chose black so it doesn't stick out from the tire too much. You could also go for gold, which looks okay with the golden wheels, but I went for black, but you can go for either one. Also, in wheels, I changed the wheels from the ones that come on the livery to begin with, because those are the wheels in the Gran Turismo 2 version of this car. I want to make it closer to the Gran Turismo 1 version, but this was still the nicest livery that I could see. So I went for this livery, but I changed the wheels. So you'll want to go for these wheels, BBS RP gold color. I don't know if you have to buy these or not, but these are the wheels that I recommend, as it looks closest to the wheels from Gran Turismo 1. So you also want to come in here, you'll want to go offset, as set that to wide, rim width also wide, and rim diameter you'll want to go 17 inch, yes, and install those. So that's it for the visual changes. It's a really nice livery, it didn't need much changing. I just wanted to change the wheels to match the ones in Gran Turismo 1 as opposed to Gran Turismo 2. So once you apply that, we can head back to the garage and start with the tuning of this car. So, in our car settings, you'll obviously want to have your racing soft tyres equipped. For the suspension, I've put the body height in both front and rear to 95, which is as low as it can go. For anti-roll, 6 on both front and back. For compression on damping ratio, 36 on each. For expansion, 44. Natural frequency, 2.3 on the front, 2.5 on the rear. Negative camber is 1.5 front and rear. Toe angle is 0.05 on the front out and 0.20 on the rear in. For the differential tuning, I went for 45 on front and rear for initial torque, 30 for acceleration sensitivity front and back, and 15 for braking sensitivity front and back. For the torque vectoring center differential, I went for a 50-50 split for increased stability, because in Gran Turismo 1 this car is very stable to drive, so I thought recreating that with the front rear torque distribution would be a good idea. As for the downforce, it is set to maximum on front and rear, which is 200 and 300. The ECU is untouched. There is slight ballast to get us up to the weight that the car is in Gran Turismo 1, which is 1280 kilos. So it's 22 kilograms of ballast added, and I put that all the way to the rear so that we can get closer to a 50-50 weight ratio. It's not incredibly helpful, but it helps a tiny bit. For the racing transmission, I set that to 330, just automatic, no manual adjustment to that. And then for everything else, we fitted the high RPM turbocharger. We got the anti-lag system turned on, and it's set to strong. Racing intercooler, racing air cleaner, silencer exhaust, carbon brakes, racing disc. You could fit the handbrake if you wanted to, the hydraulic handbrake if you want to use it for drifting, but I opted not to. And then steering angle kit, you could also do that if you want to do drifting as well. Clutch and flywheel is racing. If you got the carbon propeller shaft, you might be able to make up the extra horsepower. I don't know, because I haven't won it. So if you win that from a spin, try fitting it, see if it gets you up to that limit for horsepower. Same thing for titanium connecting rods and pistons. I don't know if it makes a difference because I haven't won it in a spin. And then the weight reduction and body rigidity is all fitted here. So that's it for the original tune. I do have an added thing for if you want to use this car to grind for money at the Le Mans event, so I will go over that quickly just now here. So for the Le Mans grinding event, you'll want to change the tires to racing intermediates, and the suspension and differential settings all remain the same. The ballast, transmission and downforce all remain the same. The only things that have changed is we've gone for the medium RPM turbocharger instead of the high RPM. It gives you slightly more torque and it reduces the horsepower a little bit, so you can get better fuel management. The anti-lag system is also turned off for the same reasons. And then everything else is the same. We have all the racing parts fitted here, carbon, brakes, racing brake pads, all that. And then of course, everything in engine tuning and bodywork is all still fitted because you can't remove any of that stuff. So that's it for the Le Mans build. It's quite simple. You just have to buy an extra set of tires and a different turbocharger. You could keep the high RPM turbocharger if you wanted to. I don't know how your fuel economy would be though. With this build, fuel economy set to 6, you can get 2 laps easily and you'll be lapping the AI pretty easily. Well, you know, you'll be doing pretty well against the AI with this build. So that's it for the tuning. We will put it back to this tune and then we will head out to the track and see how it performs. So on the track we have the car driving around High Speed Ring reversed here, and honestly the car feels really good in my opinion. It accelerates really well, it responds to braking incredibly well, it handles like a dream. It's a great beginner's car, I would say. I think that's part of what drew me to the GTO LM Edition and all GTO models in Gran Turismo 1 in the first place, because not only do they look good, but they are really easy to drive. At least that was my experience. I always found the GTO family of cars to always be really easy to drive, really responsive to tuning, really great for beginners and experts at the games, so they were really just great all-round cars. And the GTO LM Edition, while it wasn't actually the fastest GTO, you could tune certain other GTOs to be faster and better technically. I always loved the GTO LM Edition, and it's nice to have some way to continue using it in the modern games. It's not quite the same because it is the 91 edition GTO, which is unfortunately the only version of this car that Polyphony have decided to bring into this game. I really hope one day we get the 96, or since it's a Polyphony original car, I'm sure they could work it out with Mitsubishi to just bring the LM edition back, because I mean, they already have a GTO, so Mitsubishi clearly have no issue with them using a GTO in the game. It'd be nice to just have the car back as a novelty, if nothing else, but if they brought back the 96 GTO, I would be quite happy, because we could get a more accurate version of the car, we could get the right horsepower, we could get the proper looking headlights, because the pop-up headlights, wow, while they look good on the 91 GTO, it's not the same, if that makes any sense. But I really like how this car came out, and I'm glad that we have some way to continue using this incredible car from Gran Turismo's past. So that's it for this tune setting video. I've never done anything like this before. Like I did a small one with the Ferrari VGT, but that was just changing a couple settings to get it into one particular event. So this is the first time I've built a car. So let me know what you think. If you think this car drives well, if you think it's terrible, let me know. I could be the only one. I'm not the best driver in the world, so somebody will probably drive this and think it's terrible, but if you liked it, then let me know. If you want me to do more builds of cars based on Gran Turismo 1 LM editions, I would definitely be down to make some, so let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.